Hello? Hello, hello. I'm streaming. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, hello. I'm streaming. Can you hear me? Okay. So that works. I do want to spend a few minutes trying to get cross streaming for Twitch going. So, okay. I put a URL. Okay. Start. Is it working? No. Failed to connect to server. That's super cool. Oh. Yeah, okay. So multi-streaming is not working tonight, so whatever. Okay. Late because I wanted to eat first and I had some technical issues. But here now. So what was my plan today? I think I'm just going to talk about the game. About the game, maybe play a game later. I might play a game later, but no guarantees. My roommates won't be back for a while, but when they do, I'm probably going to just cut the stream right there, so be aware of that. If the stream just suddenly stops, that's why. But, okay, so I would go over character creation, but, I already made a video for that on my channel, and it's relatively up to date. It's a character creation video, but it's pretty long and boring, but it's, if you want to know about that, you can watch that. But so I think I'll skip over that, over character creation, and go to, I don't know, what would be interesting to go over. That's like early. Stat and skill rolls. That works mostly like how it does in D&D. Acid checks works like how it does in D&D. Choosing the failing, yep. Edge and snag. I've kind of already gone over that in my videos, but it's the it's Mythic's advantage and disadvantage system, where in D&D you have an advantage that you know, lets you roll additional d20, you take the higher, but in this game, you can add as many edges or snags to your roll as you want, or as you might suffer, and that can really modify how you play. That's like the one big difference, and I was inspired to do that by Lancer. I never played Lancer, but I did read it. Well, I tried to read most of it, but like that game's a little harder to understand without playing it. But yeah. I might change music. What's like a more chiller song you can listen to? Yeah, I'll just play combat music from Halo. Why not? Okay. You have luck. Luck is essentially just DM. What is it? Inspiration in normal D&D, where players like roleplay well, the DM can just give them an inspiration or a luck that can allow them to re-roll a roll. But Mythic can do a little bit more with it. You can you automatically make a roll of any kind, and it counts as a critical. You can spend luck points in combat to take your turn whenever you want during a round of combat. Of course, that when it comes to where you were supposed to take your turn in your round of combat, of course, you don't get a turn then because you already took it at some other point in the initiative. But yeah, it allows you to do it whenever you want, which can be pretty useful if you want to do like a big opener. Is that it? I guess so. I might expand that in the future. Maybe do like allows you to do more damage, or well, I guess it already allows you to auto crit. Just use that on an accuracy roll. You auto crit and do a bunch of damage. Other bonuses. These are pretty similar to D&D. You get like situational bonuses and disadvantages, like the edge and snag system, that just come from a variety of places. Passive awareness. Designations are interesting because they're not classes like how they are in D&D. They're suggested ways of building a character. So, for instance, the agent, it gives you like a suggested. Oh, I need to update. Yeah, like this is all out of date, but for agent, you can use this stat scores for all your stats, and then as you level up, you can use your starting health, and as you level up, you can take all this stuff to build to make a build that is kind of like a secret agent type or something, like an assassin type build. Hey Onion, how's it going? I started late because I wanted to eat, and that took longer than I thought. But I'm just going over some basic stuff in my game. Just kind of, I didn't go over character creation because I already have a video for that on my channel. It's kind of boring, but that's what it is. So I'm kind of covering other stuff. I'm just kind of going from like start to end, just covering random stuff. But yeah, this is designations are recommended ways of building characters. These are all very out of date. I want to wait until like the last minute of changing my doing the final revision, or not the final revision, but the most recent revision before I change these, because I don't want to have to constantly change them every time I update the game. Leveling up, I think I went over this in a video, but when you level up, you roll a 2d10, add your resolve score to find the number you add your HP. I don't know how people are what people are gonna think about this one, because throughout the game, everybody's rolling kind of the same health die, and I don't know, because that's going to result in everybody having very similar health to each other. There will be some variance, like some people will roll really high on their 2d10, some people will roll really low on their 2d10, and then some people will have really high resolve stat scores, and other people will have low ones. So there will be some variance, but it won't be I don't think it will be as huge as comparing a rogue to a barbarian or something like that. It's going to be much more constrained. There are perks in the game that do give you additional health. Hardy. Leveling up, rolling a 2d10 and your resolve modifier like normal. Add an additional 5 points. This perk is retroactive, so you get additional 5 per level as what you are. There's also another one. What do you think about making species determine the hit dice? I did think about that, and I might do that in the future, because that would give much more character variance, because I'm looking at species. Each species really is kind of meant to have a certain type of build. You can go against it pretty easily, but you really are kind of meant to have a certain type of build. Like, Metamorphs are supposed to be dexterity and charisma focused. So, you know, they can have like a roguelike's health and kind of be lower. Cat B can be higher because they're supposed to be more of a tank type thing. Synthetic would be nothing, but like Thoth. Thoth is supposed to be like the Scion species, and you can do other things with Thoth. They don't have to be Scions, but they're the best at being Scions so far in the game. So it would make sense to kind of give them lower health, make them more glass cannons. But we'll see. My players weren't like super torn up about having very similar health in my playtest, because there are perks that kind of can give you more health. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe public testing will have different opinions. So yeah, you roll 2d10 and add your resolve stat when you level up and get more health. Oh, that's level 1, not leveling up. Where's leveling up? Leveling up, here we go. And you reroll ones, so that's fun. I like that. On odd number level ups, you get another 12 skill points to spend on your skills to distribute how you like. And I can show you guys an old character sheet, but you can still kind of show off what I'm going for. Blank sheets. Character sheet. A lot of info. But so level 1, oh, this is out of date, but you know, level 1 you would get 12, and then at level 2, oh, odd number, level 3 you get another 6. Well, it would be 12, but in this out of date one it's 6. And you can spend it on your STMs for your stats. So distribute how you like, and you know, going from no training to different levels require a different amount of skill points, so you'll need to spend a different amount to get better in a skill. So like legendary takes like, what was that, 10 points to get there, so players can't get super high really fast, but they can over the course of playing the game. And your basic stats add to all these as well, so if they look kind of low, that's why. I haven't set anything above 10. On even number level ups, you can pick 2 perks from the perk list, or increase 1 tier in a perk path, or increase the stat score by 2, or increase 2 separate stat scores by 1. And increasing above 3 requires 2 stat points, just to like have players, they have to really commit to getting their stats higher than 3, because I don't know, I just think it should be. So let's see, let's look at perks. So perks, there are currently 78 perks in the game. And that's including me like getting rid of some. But right now there are 78, and a lot of them kind of just modify the way you play. Like Action Surge gives you, it's like very much like D&D where it's an Action Surge and gives you additional actions in your turn, where in this game it gives you 2 additional actions. And instead of giving you, like in D&D, it's just 1 extra full action. Because this Mythic uses the Pathfinder system, which gives you 3 actions. And so giving you just like 1 additional action like wouldn't be very much. So I did 2. I decided not to do 3 because I feel like that would be maybe a little too much. So I did 2. I decided not to do 3 because I feel like that would be maybe a little. But then you have things like Akimbo, which can dueling in the game is not very good when you like first do it, but Akimbo can get rid of the downsides of dual wielding. So I can show that when we get there. But yeah, that's kind of what perks are like. I'm interested to see what people think of them because I wonder if players would like perks or perk paths more. And right now I kind of want them both in the game, but I wonder if players like one or other more. And then we get to perk paths. And these kind of function more like normal classes in D&D, where like Combat Master, it gives you access to a bunch of actions. Combat Master actions, and they kind of function like spells, but some of them don't. Like the Combat Master ones work more like maneuvers from the fighter subclass that is the Battle Master, I think it's called. And at first they're pretty similar to that, but they kind of differentiate a bit more as you go along. I think with Combat Master I was kind of going for more of a melee focus, but it can be used with ranged weapons as well. It's just like any kind of attack action that can be used in tandem with. Yeah, Battle Master. But then you have like psionic actions, which are pretty much spells. It's like the wizard class. You can use telekinesis to throw stuff around. You can manipulate people's minds. I think my thing needs to be refreshed. Refresh page. Nope, I don't know. Compel subservience, make people do what you want. Yeah, and psionic abilities are interesting because there's an ability called Detect Brainwaves, and you can use this ability to detect people without seeing them and use your abilities on them. So you can use a action slot to detect them, and then you can use their abilities on them like through walls. Might be overpowered, not sure yet. No one's playtested a Scion yet. That's kind of what that is. Let me go back to where I was. I was at leveling up, right? Yeah, perk paths. So right now there is a Combat Master, which is kind of like the Battle Master from D&D. You have the Commander, who's kind of like who's kind of like a mix of the Bard and the Paladin. As a class. Not so much the Paladin's like ability to smite and things like that, but Not so much their ability to smite and stuff like that, but it's more like their ability to support. So they get like they get auras. They like to have an aura of. Oh, I'm looking for their actions. And I'm not even in the right section. But like they can produce an aura of protection and things like that to support their allies. Like this perk path is all about like buffing your allies and debuffing your enemies. And then I really want to read through the rulebook myself. I really want to read through the rulebook myself now. Man, I can't. I can see how much work you put into it. Thank you. Yeah, I've been working on it for a while. Probably too long. I probably should have made the game simpler at first, but I'm glad it's getting attention now, so I can actually talk about it, because like that's always the thing that like game makers and GMs are always craving to do, right? They always want to talk endlessly about the creation, and so it's nice that I've been able to do that. But hopefully, I'm not sure what my plan is so far with how I'm going to public playtest. I might do like a stripped down version of the game a little bit, so like players don't have access to absolutely everything. That's why like people will still be like incentivized to one day invest in the Kickstarter that I plan to do, or and it would stop people from just like not stealing, but like downloading the PDF and just claiming they made it and try to sell it or something like that. But yeah, then you have Cunning Combatants, which are like the rogue build. They're all about sneaking. When you take the Cunning Combatant tier 1, the hide action now requires only 1 action instead of 2. Thieving only requires 1 action instead of 2. And it also gives you access to actions, Cunning Combatant actions. And so it's kind of like rogues from D&D, where in D&D you almost always want to do like a 2-level rogue dip, because it gives you access to cunning actions for your bonus action, which just makes every kind of build you have just way more effective, because you can bonus action move and stuff. And so I kind of maintain that same spirit in Cunning Combatant tier 1, or Cunning Combatant in general, because I do kind of want people to kind of mix and match perk paths a little bit, because I think that would be really interesting. And that's one way to kind of incentivize people to do it. But it could be broken, because I don't know. I feel like it isn't that broken though, because like Rogue and normal D&D gives you Cunning Combatants, cunning actions, which are really strong. But like, you know, hiding as 1 action and thieving as 1 action, I feel like wouldn't be that useful for a lot of builds. So we'll have to see. Well, you know what they say, before you make it good, you gotta make it. Mistakes and rewrites are part of the journey. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And hopefully, I can get through that second revision, and you know, after I playtest it again and maybe publicly allow some playtesting, I can get that second revision going, even make it even better. That's understandable. That's understandably tough. Quite a few people would rather steal than put in the work themselves. Yeah, 100%. And honestly, like, I wasn't even thinking about that until I was talking to my family members. We're having like a family dinner one night, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well, you don't want to like put this out just for anyone to see it, because like they might steal it and like and make money off of it and themselves instead of you." It's like, oh shit. I never thought about that. Like, yeah, that would suck. A lot of the game is very derivative of 5e though, so it's like it has been a lot of work, but I don't know. Then you have Technician. Technician is very much a caster type build as well. It's kind of like the Artificer from 5e. I think that's what I use for inspiration from it, but it's all about using technical skills. I talked about this a lot in a video where the Technician abilities were pretty OP, especially like the bestow energy shields or whatever. Technician actions. They can DDoS attack. Some of these abilities I feel like players won't use very much, like the fishing attack. That's like a something you have to do during downtime, and it gets you information about like stuff around you in a large radius, like a couple miles. It's more for like role play in the campaign to get some like direction or something. Too many robots, please nerf. Yeah, honestly, I could if I run out of stuff to say about the actual game, I could look at some of the comments of my past videos in YouTube Shorts, because some of the comments I got on the YouTube short talking about how one player could have like a shitload of robots following them around all times. That was like, so many people told me that it was actually like a good thing that they could do that, and it's like that should be a-okay to do and stuff like that. And it's like, maybe if you want that for your game, but personally I don't want to have like, you know, four PCs and then like 4 more friendly NPCs that are just controlled by a single player. Like, there's so many issues that comes from that. Like, it overshadows other players, it makes them feel like they're not doing as much, and it's also, it just bogs down the initiative. Like, it just makes everything so slow to get through the initiative. And like, one of the big criticisms 5e gets is that it takes forever to get back to your turn in combat, right? And like, one way I've decided to combat that in Mythic is to, when you're doing enemy design or combat encounter design, it's recommended all enemies in the game are organized in tier and classifications to create balanced combat encounters. To create balanced combat encounters, the tier of enemies fighting the player party should be the same number as the player's level, and the same number equal to the player party size. That way, it's like it should never like really take too long to get back to anyone's turn, because it's kind of like the equal number of time or enemies you have to get through to get everyone's turn. So I agree to an extent. There's always a balance to strike with pet classes. Yeah, I just think for what I'm going for, I really did not want to allow my players to have like an army of robots, because yeah, for everything I just said, I just don't think it's very fun, and it's also like annoying for, well, it's really annoying for the player, but I think it's also annoying for the DM, because it's so much stuff to keep track of at once. Like, all the, you know, the more NPCs you have to keep track of in combat, the more the DM has to keep track of. And that can get really annoying. But yeah. Right now I'm moving all the enemies over to the PDF, which is pretty slow. But yeah, I also have to change all the stats, so I'm not using ability scores, I'm just using the ability score modifiers, which I'm now just calling stat scores. But to get back to where I was, what was I talking about? Technician abilities, right? It's definitely a balancing act with stuff like that. Because look at 5e versus 5.5e, they went complete opposite ends between editions. What do you mean by that? Because I don't have a ton of experience with 5.5, but I know 5.5 like buffs a lot of stuff. But do they like reduce the amount of like pets and stuff you can have in the game? Oh yeah, they removed 90% of the summoning spells? Oh, that kind of sucks. Now they're effects rather than entities? Like, they're not like an individual NPC? I mean, I know like summoning and like animate object could be like pretty annoying, but like just gutting them, that kind of sucks. Conjure animals, etc. spells were either turned into damage buff spells or only one thing being summoned. Yeah, I don't know. As as a DM, I can understand like kind of I like all the stuff I just talked about. I kind of understand like wanting to like pare it down because like couldn't you with the summon animals spell like you could summon like a lot of like lesser or like very weak animals, which could be like really annoying. It could like really clog the initiative and stuff like that. But yeah, I can see how it could be annoying. Just like I used to be able to summon like 17 snakes with this. Now I can only summon one. No matter what the level. Like, that sucks. But yeah, the technician stuff, like, you have, detect devices, which is similar to detect brainwaves. It can let you, like, hack people through walls. Because you can, like, detect the devices they're using on their person, or the, what's it called? The neural something. You know, the thing you put in your head and allows you to like use tech without using your hands. And here's like the the problem spell. So not only it gives them a +1 to AR, but it also makes the enemy take damage if they do melee attacks against them. Pretty strong. Riptus Shepherd Druid. The subclass was meant for those spells. Neural interface. Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, yeah, it sucks that there's an entire like subclass built around that, and they kind of gutted it. Unfortunately, like D&D, like they had their bed made for them like like in the 70s, and the 70s didn't care so much about balancing, and so it's like, summoning a ton of stuff is kind of a part of the game at that point. Like even through all the additions, like summoning a bunch of stuff is just a part of it, So it feels a little weird that they kind of got rid of that. Even if it was annoying, even if like I personally didn't like it, but other people do, so they could always start a new IP, but I don't think it would sell as well. Oh yeah, jam weapon. I had to change this because jamming isn't a thing in the game anymore. But yeah, let's go back to going through what's available. Ooh, hold on. Okay, I'm back. How many groups run summons? Sorry, I've like, I'm so bad at reading. How many groups run summoning? Is each player controls a separate summon, so everyone gets more playtime rather than one person playing the fantasy of 7,000 pigeons. Eat that, man. Oh, how you run the summoning builds. Okay. They control separate summons. Everyone gets more playtime. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for with the, what was I talking about? Perk path. With the Robot Companion perk path. Because before you could have a number of robots equal to 1/4 your R&D skill training modifier, and that can get out of hand because once you get like maxed out in R&D, you could have total 4 robots following you around, and that was a lot, especially if like multiple players did that. Like multiple players could have a robot companion previously. You just needed to have at least like 4 in R&D, which that means every player could have a robot companion, and then people with higher R&D could have multiple robot companions. So minimum, it's a player party size of 8 because they have each person has 1 robot companion. Or if everybody focuses R&D, everybody, you know, it could be a player party size of 4 times 4, 16 robots plus players. So like 20 PCs and NPCs all fighting each other, or not fighting each other, but all in one group. And so that's like it would have been like a nightmare to balance if that ever happened. When I ran a summoner, I limited myself to the high CR, low count options. My table loved my elementals, but not when they take up half the initiative. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that's how you do it. I mean, summoning something strong but not taking up too much of the initiative is the way to do it. And again, I think that's why I kind of decided to change how robot companions work to just like the 1 per person. And you have to invest into an entire perk path to do it, so it's a much bigger ask. It kind of like forces players to respect each other's time to some extent. But I can show you guys the older build of Mythic that shows off how bad it used to be. I think it's this one. I have to wait for it to load. It's just a massive document. There we go. It's under items? No. Oh, where is it? Auto turrets, animal companions, automaton, and drones. This might be adjusted because it was already kind of overpowered back then, but originally it was like one robot companion per 4 in R&D. And then you could add half your R&D to what robots could do as their roles. And so at max R&D, they got +6 to everything, which is actually like surprisingly good, a surprisingly good modifier. So robots could be really effective in combat, and that's what happened in that playtest. One player had 1 BBU, basic battle unit, who was shockingly effective, like way more effective than I ever intended this guy to ever be. They were supposed to be like these shitty starting robot type that you can then like upgrade later or get a better version later. Because originally, well, okay, so imagine this. The basic battle unit became surprisingly effective in combat and really useful, and it could do everything a normal human player could. There used to be stronger variations than just the basic battle unit. Like Fallout style Octobots, and then like Fallout style Sentry bots. Like, like if I allowed players to have like 4 of these, it would have been absolutely insane. Like, how would I even balance that? Like, you can't. And I had androids. I even had a I had a system in the game where androids, like every day you rolled like a d20, and if you rolled like a nat 1, they would like become self-aware and like run away from you. It was a lot. Good lord, yeah, honestly. Like, look at these stats. And then you could add half the R&D modifier to it. So for dexterity, it's 4 plus 6. Like, it would have been like a plus 10. Plus, upgrades. Roll decay. Alterations and attachments. I also love systems like Lancer and Kane, where pushing your character over limits actually has rewards. I was wondering if you have anything similar. I do. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, look at like some of these upgrades. Like, this is what I was talking about in the video. Like, the upgrades were super cheap, and the basic ones gave you like +2 to stuff. So this would give you like a +2 to strength. This would give you a +2 to AR for only 500 credits. Like, it was completely ridiculous. And originally, you could use these upgrades on Synthetic, the species, and that was really problematic. I think I mentioned in the video, because for just 500 credits, a player character could get a +2 to any like basic stat, and it was just so stupid. It was just so dumb. But yeah, that's how it used to be. But yeah, back to give me 4 Assaultrons, nothing bad will happen, I promise. Yeah, I trust you, dude. 100%. You won't like immediately like disintegrate my enemies. Like, have you guys seen what's it called? Project Sunburst? Fallout Project Sunburst by Sodaz? It's just that. You just like blow up and mow down all the enemies instantly. But yeah, back to this. Pushing yourself over limit. So let's go to traumatic stress. So there is a stress system in Mythic. I'm having like a little bit of a hard time like applying it, but basically, when any of these circumstances occur, your character can suffer stress, and how much stress they can take is called a stress threshold. And you determine your threshold. It functions as basically another health bar. Take half your insight stat and add your level, round down. So it's insight stat and add your level. So so if you have like 5 insight and you're level 4, then you have your threshold is 9. Oh, that's the actual actual example in here. And then when you hit that threshold, you then have to roll on the consequences of stress on the panic table. The Sentry bots really did steal the show in Sunburst. Yeah, they were awesome. Holy crap, those are sick. Yeah. That animation was so cool. Oh my god. I rewatch it like all the time. It's just so good. That man needs to, like, he just needs to become like a professional just fan animator. We need to fund that man to do that. He makes awesome stuff. But yeah, if you get to the stress threshold, you roll a fortitude saving throw. If you succeed, your stress gets halved, and nothing bad happens. If you fail, your stress still gets halved, so it gets halved no matter what. But if you fail, you have to roll on the panic table, and a bunch of different stuff can happen. It's mostly just snag to like specific things. But like it can be as bad as like I guess they aren't that bad. They're mostly just like tiers of snagged and stuff. Maybe a little flaccid. I might give it more of a bite later, but my players were, I guess we didn't really use it in my playtest because the stress threshold used to be your influence plus your charisma or something like that. So it used to be like way higher. So players never really maxed out their stress threshold at all. Really engaged in it at all. And that also inspired me to give players opportunity to willingly take on stress to do extra stuff. Push themselves over their limits, like he said, and I'll get to that just in a second. But if you roll a 20 on the panic table, you roll on the battle angel table, which gives you some crazy bonuses that can buff you and those around you in a short area. Like remove all stress and reduce all ally stress by 6. For 1 minute, you have a tier of edge to all accuracy rolls and resistant to all damage. And your allies do as well. Oh, there's no range, just as allies. Wow, that's kind of insane. And then if you roll a nat 1 on the panic table, you then roll on the war dog table, where it's kind of like the battle angel table, but instead of the effects do not extend to allies. It only affects you, and you tend to get like tunnel vision. You have to attack enemies. You have to spend every turn attacking enemies. You can't do anything else. You must spend your turn using all your actions attacking enemies or moving into positions to attack enemies and nothing else. So they can both be like huge game changers in a fight, but War Dog can be a little problematic because, like, imagine your medic rolls on War Dog. Like, no one's getting healed now. Where's beneficial stress? Beneficial stress. When suffering consequences that you don't want to accept or wish to push yourself to do more, you can willingly suffer stress points to boost yourself. It costs nothing to take on stress to enhance your turn, but you can only enhance your turn through beneficial stress once per round of combat. That's kind of insane, says the man who wrote that. Yeah, dude. I just need to make the game super broken and overpowered. Like, that's gonna be so much fun, right, guys? Now I'm thinking of Darkest Dungeon, and there being the panic and resolve tables, depending on succeeding or failing the panic check. Yeah, I was kind of like very much inspired by Darkest Dungeon when first creating this. Now that I've been like working on the game for like years now, I realized that panic tables and stress stuff has been in games for a while, and I could have used all those systems as inspiration, air quotes inspiration, or just steal from them. But now much later, I realized that I could have just copied from all of them, and I built this system pretty much from scratch for no reason. But hopefully it feels unique since I did that. But for beneficial stress, on your turn, you gain a tier of edge. You can suffer 2 stress and gain a tier of edge to a single roll or any roll but death saving throws. And then you can spend 2 to add 1 additional damage die, spend 3 to add 2 additional damage die, spend 3 to take an extra action. So you can straight up just do more on your turn. You can spend 3 to gain an additional ability slot. Oh, but it disappears at the end of your turn. or you can just take an extra reaction if you spend 3 stress. And after reading Daggerheart, of all systems, they have enemies. I didn't read the enemy stat blocks, but apparently the enemy stat blocks sometimes make players suffer things called fear in that game. And I haven't done it yet, but I do want to integrate that into this game so players will be affected by the stress system more. Because in the playtest, players rarely took stress, and when they did, their thresholds were so big that never really mattered. So if I have enemies that can make players take stress, and then also, you know, they can purposely take stress as well, and I think they'll take stress a lot more going forward. But it needs to be tested. But that's kind of like Lancer. It can like let you do more stuff on your turn. I don't really remember Lancer that well, and I've never played it, so I don't know how much more Lancer allows you to do on your turn. But this feels like a good level of restraint for allowing you to do extra stuff on your turn. Because during the playtest, one player took Action Surge, and then he took Blur of Movement perks. In Action Surge, when you use it, it's not like in D&D where you get like one or two if you're a fighter. It's you spend 2 or 3 ability slots and you can just use the ability. So you can use Action Surge a lot in Mythic, way more than D&D. And so you can Action Surge for 2 additional actions, and then Blur of Movement gives him a bonus action, and a bonus action in Mythic allows you to do anything a normal action can do, but if there's a roll related to it, it's at a tier of Snag, and if it's movement, it's at half movement. And so all that on top of also being able to use stress to gain an additional action in combat can allow players to do just a shitload of stuff per turn. Lancer, once per turn you take increasing amounts of heat to take another half action. Okay. Overcharge is fun. Is Overcharge basically an Action Surge? My internet's dying a little bit. It's okay. It's getting back. Luckily, I'm just showing off a document, so dropped frames like don't matter right now. Overcharge is a quick action on Lancer. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I have a vague recollection of how actions work in Lancer, but I think, like, yeah, it lets you do more. I think I'm getting the gist. Yes, and the limit is your heat. If you don't mind taking stress damage, overcharge every turn. Gotcha, okay. It's funny because I really do want to try Lancer, but my DM, who has played it before, refuses to DM it because he says it's too complicated. Which sucks, but what are you gonna do? We already have like 3 campaigns going on right now. We don't need to add another one. But that brings me to I'll talk about drugs. So in the game you can take drugs, and similar to like beneficial stress, when you take a drug you suffer some stress, and it's a different amount per whatever you take. Oh, this is stress reduction? What? Oh, well, some is reduction and some add stress, so... Taking a drug in combat takes 1 action if you're giving it to yourself, but if you're giving it to someone else, it takes 2. Or if you're using the syringe gun, that takes just 1 attack action. Unless you have to reload, of course. But I'm pretty sure you can get addicted. Yeah, so during downtime, you guys can take drugs to reduce stress, but you have to take enough that you're intoxicated, like so drunk or high or whatever. So the point of it, it's like the point of that is that it's a consequence of your action. So if you guys are attacked while taking downtime, like at a campfire or something, one of your teammates might be high and might not be operating at full potential. Just to like reduce some stress. So it's kind of like a should I not type situation. Oh, it's a save. For DR13 Fortitude save. At higher levels, like most players should not be failing that, but not addiction mechanic anymore? I guess not. Because I took it out of the game. Every Lancer build I make turns into an overcharged loot build eventually. I have a problem and I blame the Harrison Armory. RIP. I DM'd it once. It was a lot of fun. Great DMing learning experience. Don't throw massive waves of trash mechs at players. It takes too long. Yeah, definitely. Oh, so stress doesn't naturally decay. No, it doesn't. You have to actively get rid of it during downtimes. And, well, downtimes for, like, when you're in a mission, so, like, for sleeping, like your 8-hour rest period, or when you've completed a mission and you're back at home base. I think sleeping does reduce it by, like, a little bit. It's, like, 2 stress, but that's it. It doesn't reduce it by much. So, you have to... there are some abilities like the commander abilities can reduce some stress, so that can be pretty powerful. But commander abilities use ability slots, so they can only do it so much. So you can use drugs to reduce it. You can use abilities to reduce it. You can sleep to reduce it a tiny bit, but it's definitely something you have to manage, which is why I want players to like suffer more of it more often, so they actually interact with the system. Lancer is very easy compared to D&D of all things, especially D&D. Really? Oh, okay. I don't know what he was talking about then. I know Lancer uses like hexagons, right? I've always I like the hexagon system. I feel like it's a much better system than the what was it, the cube system D&D has, because moving diagonally is so overpowered. Drugs. So you guys can also overdose. So you have like a certain amount of drugs you guys can take at any one time. It's equal in number to resolve modifier, minimum 0. So you take any drugs more than a resolve modifier allows, then you must begin rolling fortitude saving throws when ingesting new drugs. The DR being 15, so it's a little bit higher. I think 15 is like the optimal range for like if you're not built for this type of role, there's a pretty good chance you're going to fail it. But there's also a decent chance that you'll pass. There's like a non-negligible chance you'll pass it. But yeah, so it's DR 15. If you fail, you gain the toxic condition for 1 hour, which toxic in Mythic is the same as the poison condition, but you take some damage at the start of each of your turns. But you can't overdose on stem packs, and stem packs are the basic like healing drug of the game. They don't have any negative effects, because I didn't really feel like that would have been too harsh if you could overdose from those or something. You reset your blood toxicity when taking at least a brief rest. So take a brief rest and it just resets. You're good to go again. Hex Grid is fantastic, and I managed to get my D&D group to shift into using them. Yeah, it just seems so much better. Honestly, I really like that, a secondary resource pool that doesn't quickly replenish. Thanks. Yeah, I really like it in concept. I just really want to use it. I really want to have my players like freak out in session. But yeah, I really like not easily replenishable stuff, because it kind of works like spell slots and stuff like that where you gotta take. Well, I guess with spell slots you get it back after a long rest, but it's something you have to manage, and I like that. I think it adds tension to playing the game, and it's one of the few survival mechanics that's still in the game. No addiction thing anymore, but survival in the sense that if you're constantly at like really high stress, taking stress all the time, like that's just going to be super detrimental to the rest of your party. Same here, most systems don't have something like that is a core mechanic. Yeah. I thought about it before Daggerheart, so but what is it? Call of Cthulhu. They had the system down like years before I ever like thought about making a system. So yeah. Maybe the regular stim packs. Have you thought about making a super healing drug that's dangerous to use? That's an interesting idea, because right now there's a normal stim pack, there's a super stim pack, and then there's a mythic stim pack. And none of them do any damage right now, but I could put in the game like something that like max heals you or heals you for like equivalent to half your total health, but it's like makes you take a bunch of stress or something. That would be interesting. Stem packs don't invoke Todd Howard. Stem packs. Yeah, I made it. I made that one joke in the video about the Todd Howard JPEG attacking me. But yeah, I called them stem pack though because of stem cells, which I think is a nice way to kind of ground the setting a bit more. But let me actually write that down so I don't forget. Because I could add like something like Fallout has like Fixer that gets rid of all your addictions, but I could do like a Fixer that like gives you a bunch of stress, or maybe I can put a drug in the game that like gets rid of all your stress but makes you take damage or something. It's kind of a cool idea. Your idea has been immortalized. Yep. I like to think of myself as being very open to feedback, so I'm down to like write down and try to integrate ideas in my game. But yeah, so you have like basic stuff, like you have alcohol. Alcohol is mostly meant to like reduce stress. Tranquilizers can they're kind of like the sleep spell. They do damage, but they don't do actual damage. They do a certain amount of damage that if it equals how much current health they have, then they fall asleep. So it kind of works like the sleep spell in D&D. Woot woot. But it can also be a great way to reduce some stress, like the Tranquilizer Tier 5 reduces 10 stress. So you could use it on enemy to make them fall asleep, or you can use it on yourself. I kind of wish I kept the addiction mechanic, because it would be really funny in a dark way, if players were just shooting up tranks every time they rested. But I think it was like too much to keep track of, so that's probably why I got rid of it. Then you have the stimulants. These are the more fun ones. Like you have adrenaline, which is like the haste spell. It gives you 2 additional actions per turn for 1 minute. Chewing tobacco, that's just like alcohol. It just helps you reduce some stress. You have deranged. Gives you extra damage. But then you have a rage. Oh, that's some interesting thing to bring up. Oh, that's actually really cool. Thanks. Rage in Mythic is not an ability. It's a drug. Well, it is an ability technically for the Cappy and just the Cappy. They can rage on command, but for everybody else, they have to take a drug to rage. And that gives them the condition enraged, which basically just works like how it does in D&D. It lasts for 1 minute, and that's one of the big reasons why I feel like I have to have some sort of like carry capacity in Mythic to force players not to bring as much stuff as they can like physically carry on their character at once with them. Because if I didn't, they could bring like 30 rage drugs and just rage constantly, and that would be really annoying and borderline broken. But so that's why in the capacity carrying capacity I made it, I really wanted to keep in the game to prevent players from bringing just anything with them whenever they want. And I recently changed it from pounds to slots, which should make a carry capacity system easier to manage for players. Then you have the stem packs. They're just basic healing items. But then you have things like the Psi buff, which gives you a psionic barrier, and the psionic barrier is kind of like what the Asari in Mass Effect, or not the Asari, but like anyone who can use like mind abilities in Mass Effect, they can create like natural barriers to protect themselves. And so that's kind of what the psionic barrier is in Mythic. But the psionic barrier cannot be used in tandem with energy shields, because I thought it'd be overpowered and broken. So you can have like one or the other. So Scions get what's it called? A psionic barrier just naturally as they level up their tiers. Biotics and Mass Effect, that's what it is. Yeah, thank you. Biotics. Love me Biotics, yeah. I love playing like wizard type classes in games. But yeah, the Psi buff can increase your psionic barrier in the game, or if you don't have a natural psionic barrier, like you're not playing a Scion, you can give yourself one by injecting yourself with this drug, and it's essentially temp HP. It gives you like 10 temp HP, and you deduct damage from that first and then from your health pool. But this can be stacked, so if you have like a high resolve, let's say you have like a resolve of 5, and you take 5 Psi buffs, you now have a temporary HP pool of 50. And you could go even further if you want to overdose or risk overdose, but you can go crazy with the Psi buff if you want. Biotic Charge plus Backlash was so good in Andromeda. Nice. I never played Andromeda. I didn't hear good things about it, but I loved the Biotic Charge in the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Oh my god, I played that so much. I love just Biotic Charging in that game, and then bringing a shotgun with me with like incendiary ammo. So much fun. Then you have poisons. And keep in mind, all of these drugs, these poisons, these depressants, drinks, these can all be shot from the what's it called? the syringe gun that primarily medics are meant to use, but I guess anyone can use it. Weapons, kinetic weapons. It's at the very bottom. Syringe gun. Instead of shooting bullets, it shoots drugs. So you can shoot poisons at your enemies and poison them, or you can shoot adrenaline at your allies to give them the adrenaline effect, the haste effect. So these aren't just things that you can just give yourself or allies. You can use them to like fuck with your enemies as well. Andromeda got a lot of hate, but it really wasn't that bad. Okay. Yeah, after all the updates, it looked okay. Consequences of stress, we already went over that. Just the panic table. Oh yeah, I included this like disclaimer that the system is designed for characters with generally good morals. If you're playing as an evil or morally corrupt character, the system may not apply to you. If your character's morally changes over the course of your campaign, the system may not apply to you. Consult with your ND to determine how much stress could impact your character in a different way. So generally speaking, like the assumption of the system is that your characters are like sane, generally morally good people. So if you want to play like an evil campaign, you might want to discuss with your narrative director how this might differently impact your characters. Maybe doing like good deeds will make you take stress. That reminds me, our follow game has a fun anti-drug. Basically think of an injectable system flesh. Is it like Fixer that just like gets rid of all your addiction or something? Or it gets rid of like all the drugs currently in your system? Great for dealing with drugged up raiders. Oh, that's a good idea, because there is a raider enemy type in my game. I do plan to give them drugs at higher tiers. That could be a good counter. Let's go back. Did I miss anything in the more intro section? Perks, starting credits. That's kind of boring. Kind of works like, well, kind of doesn't work like D&D. So starting credits and credits per level. So in normal D&D, the game doesn't really tell you like how much credits you should generally give your players like per level, and it's even worse in Daggerheart. They don't tell you what anything costs in Daggerheart, which I kind of hate. But in D&D they don't tell you how much players should get per level, and I kind of wanted to give like this guide to narrative directors of being like, by this level you should give them this amount of money, so they can have a good amount of money to spend on upgrades and stuff. Futuristic Narcane is a syringe gun. What's Narcane? But yeah. So this is because like I'm really trying in Mythic to be like DM friendly. You know, I want to give them much stuff as like, oh, you want to do this? This is how you do it. And I'm trying to like balance between like not doing too much stuff that would drive me insane, because it would be like too much for me to like actually like put into a single system, and like giving DMs as much support as possible. Like I wrote an entire commerce section just talking about like how money works, how haggling works, how barter works, how traders work, are they sole proprietorships or are they franchises, and how to generate their inventories. And in the end, through just experience, through like DMing past campaigns and in my playtest, I made this all optional. I didn't want to get rid of it because I put a lot of work into making all of it. but like in my experience, when players have money, they just want to spend that money on the exact thing they want. They don't want to fuck around with like, oh, does the vendor have this thing I want or that thing I want? Oh, they don't because it's all randomly generated. Then, shucks. And you know that tone players take when it's like they'll never admit that they feel disappointed, but they clearly are disappointed. That's like what I always get when I tell players that, oh, your thing just isn't in their inventory right now, sorry. And so I decided that whenever players want to go buy stuff, if you're at like a town-sized settlement or something like that, players can just, if they can afford it, they can just buy it. It just speeds things up a lot and makes things a lot simpler. And like during my playtest, like the thing I was like putting so much time into was generating traders inventories, and that was just like, it was just so boring and exhausting. And like, so even from like the DM side, I kind of felt like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do all this. But I wrote so much, I just like left it in the game. Like, who cares? Just make it optional. Arcane is what they give people that are OD'd, but it can't be used to shock someone out of a high. Oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, that's what cops use. All the drugs that are currently affecting you gone, and you get stunned for a turn if you have more than 3 flushed at once. It has been described as a violent expulsion of narcotics. It'd be funny if your DM just described it as them like shitting their pants. Yeah, but that'd be a fun counter thing to have in the game, because in Mythic there's no like counter spell type thing. If you use an ability, you just use it, and countering it, air quotes, is, you know, doing your best to just try to actually counter it with like other abilities. He has. It was a messy session. What was I talking about? I've seen a lot of people puke post Narcane. Huh. Guess it is like a violent expulsion. What situations are you in there where you're seeing people take Narcane? Got sidetracked with drugs. Yeah, we did. Modes of play. I want to skip travel. I feel like it's in like an underdeveloped stage right now. Downtime works like how it does in D&D. Nothing crazy. Same thing with resting. The environment, kind of the same stuff as D&D. Oh, except you fall a lot faster in this game. You fall 180 feet per turn or per round. Just because that's just more realistic. I never like. I don't remember what D&D's rules are, but I remember them being kind of weird, being like way too generous in how they're applied. And you know, I think when a player falls, they should really fall. You know, that like you shouldn't really easily recover from falling. But could be too harsh. But it's also falling is affected by planetary gravity. So based on what planet you're on, like Earth's gravity is just 1, but if you're on a planet that has like less gravity, like 0.5, you fall a lot slower. And you kind of have to figure out that out per planet. But I have a cheat thing for it. Planetary gravity. Yeah, so 0.1, you fall at 10 feet per round. But then if gravity is 20, 2 times Earth gravity, you fall 60 meters or 200 feet. 200 feet per round. Oh, did I have that math wrong? No, I'll have to double check that later. But yeah, it can be pretty bad. I was an EMT for 6 years. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, so you would be in that situation a lot. That makes sense. D6 per 10 feet after 10 feet fallen, up to a maximum of 20 D6. Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't think there's a maximum mythic. I think you just take everything as you fall. Where was I? The environment. 180 feet? Yeah, that must be wrong or something. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, it works mostly like how it does in D&D. So carry capacity. It's one of the major ways of balancing the game. Oh, the music is playing. Oh my god. That's aggressive. Okay. Not a bad shout, but always keep in mind if an effective player can affect enemies. Yeah, honestly. So players might develop a meta of just shoving enemies off things constantly. I mean, they already kind of do that though. So I changed the carry capacity so it's no longer tracked in pounds, but it's tracked in inventory slots, because everything in this game is just slots apparently. It's slots and tiers. So you get 10 and then you add your strength score to that, and that's whether or not it's positive or negative. So if you have a strength of 5 at the start of the game, then you have 15 inventory slots. But if you have a strength score of -5, you only have 5 at the start of the game. I just feel like that makes it very simple to track, and there are ways to make your inventory slots larger without increasing your strength, because there are backpacks in the game that can give you a lot of extra inventory slots. But there's also powered exoskeletons that just give you bonuses to strength, and that will also just give you larger inventory slots. And it's been a while, but I think I calculated once that the max possible inventory slots, or not the max, but like a very large amount of inventory slots you could possibly in the game if you like min-max it, is like 60 inventory slots. So it sounds really small at first, but at higher levels you can get a lot by the end of the game. And most things only take up like 1 inventory slots. Some things take up 3 or 4, but very few things do. So for the most part, it's just like 1 inventory slot per item. And in ammunition, you can have a bunch of ammunition in a 1 inventory slot, just taking up that 1 inventory slot. So it's not like 1 bullet equals 1 inventory slot. It's like 20 bullets equal 1 inventory slot. Then you have ability slots. The ability slots, you have a number of them equal to double your level. So by end game, you can get 20 of them, and you can use them to power your perk path abilities and just normal perk abilities. They work a lot like spell slots. When you complete a long rest, you get them all back. And there are some perks that allows you to get some back on a short rest. But yeah, they work a lot like ability slots and all that. But I should note that in the perk abilities, wherever it is. Let's look at like psionic abilities. So for telekinetic toss, for instance, you have tier 1, and for the tiers of the perk path abilities, a tier 1 costs 1 ability slot. Upcasting it, essentially, or using the higher tier version, requires 2 ability slots to cast. And if you want to use the max version, which is tier 3, you can use three ability slots to use it at its most powerful form. And so it works like how it does in D&D, but also doesn't, because you can spend your ability slots however you want as you use them. So it's not like in D&D you have a 4th level spell slot that you can only use to cast 4th level spells or lower. In this game, it's just you have ability slots, and you can spend them however you like as you use them. So spend 3 on a tier 3 version of an ability, or spend 1 on it, or spend 2 on a tier 2 ability, whatever you want. Ability slots. I want to skip pursuits. If you've read Call of Cthulhu, it functions a lot like that. I made a map for it. Let me get that up. Here we go. So in pursuits, you start like here, and the enemies start here, or whatever the ND wants, and then you can kind of move through the map. And every time you move, you have to do a skill check of some kind. If you fail, you take some damage. If you succeed, you just move to the next spot, no issue. I don't know, I feel like this section needs a lot of work. It's like, it mostly works like how it does in Call of Cthulhu, and you can even attack each other. The rules are more abstract in this like mode of play, where instead of having a range, it's like if your weapon can shoot like 30 to 50, I think it's 30 feet, then you can shoot like one location away. If you can shoot like 60 feet away, then you fire at an enemy like 2 spaces away. And it's supposed to be very like roleplay incentivized, so NDs can just make up obstacles between each space. And there can also be like obstacles that if you fail, instead of taking damage, you're just stuck at that space and enemies can catch back up to you. And so it's supposed to be kind of a fluid system where in combat you have initiative, and initiative in pursuits works exactly the same. So transitioning between pursuits and combat should be pretty easy to do, because you always have the same initiative. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave that there. It's a little complicated and it probably needs some work. I don't really want to explain it. But combat works a lot like D&D. So in D&D or in Mythic, basic steps are determine who goes. So roll initiative. Establish tactical formation, which is like where you want to appear on the map. Step 1 is determine if someone gets ambush, which works exactly like how it does in D&D. Decide tactical formation, roll initiative, then take turns, and take turns in order of the initiative, and just do that over and over again until someone wins. Talked about in the video, one of my videos, how I used to have ambush. It was like this weird, strange way of doing ambush that didn't work very well. I switched it back to how it normally works in D&D. Turn order works like how it does in D&D. Drawing your weapons. One of my players in the playtest was actually brought up to me that's like, because in Mythic, when you switch weapons in combat, that takes an action to do. So if you switch from like your rifle to your pistol, that takes an action. And so one of my playtesters was like, when combat starts, does it take an action to initially pull out our weapons? And that's honestly like a really good question. And so I decided to add in you know, drawing your weapons at the start of combat. It doesn't require any actions to pull out your weapon of choice. So at very start of combat, you can pull out whatever you want right away. Then I have some battle map stuff. I thought it was important to include this because I do think, personally, I think the best way of doing D&D combat is with a battle map. I know some people like Theater of Mind, but I really don't like Theater of the Mind. So I actually got inspiration from this from D&D 3.5e. I didn't read all that edition. Well, I skimmed it. But they have these like really nifty images kind of telling you how stuff works on the battle map. So I kind of took inspiration from that and kind of explaining like how positioning works on the battle map. We're back. How's it going, Rat King? Just going through the game, explaining some stuff. Battle map supremacy, honestly, dude. I like battle maps. Oh, dude, I'm not using hexagons though. Oh my god. But line of sight, that works like how it does in D&D. Like a lot of the basic combat stuff just works like how it does in D&D. Threatened area, that works like how it does in D&D. Threatened area is kind of interesting though, because it doesn't work for ranged attacks like guns, but there is a gun bash in the game. It's not here, I guess. But there is a gun bash, so even if you have like a pistol out and an enemy moves away from you in like your threatened area, which is like by default 5 feet, you can still take a reaction to pistol whip them with a gun bash attack. Because with weapons, with ranged weapons in this game, I'll get to it once we get to actions, but there is a pot shot action, which is basically a ranged version of attack of opportunity, where when you take a pot shot, you can only take it when an enemy leaves cover, or I think it's just when they leave cover or something like that. You can battle map mentioned. Yeah, I love battle maps. When they leave cover, that's when you can take a pot shot, and that's how you kind of take your attack of opportunity as a ranged thing. My players kept forgetting about it in the playtest, but it's actually like, I think it's good. I think it's a good place. It could be more useful, I guess, but I think it's in a good place. So yeah, there are weapons in the game, or like there are weapons in the game that give you like 10 feet of range, or if you're playing like the Ganite, which is one of the player species, they have 4 arms and they have the long body feature that gives them plus 10 feet or plus 5 feet to all their melee attacks. So their threatened area would be 10 feet instead of 5, or if they're using like a spear or something, it would be like 15 feet. So that's just kind of showing that off. Difficult terrain works like how it does in D&D. So does squeezing, cover. In cover, in D&D, cover works like you have like half cover and three quarters cover or something like that, and it gives you like different amounts of AR based on that. But in my playtest, I found that to be like very annoying to keep track of. Like, oh, do I need to give enemy plus X AR, or do I need to subtract AR from that, or whatever the fuck. And I decided to simplify it so that if you're in cover and you're like properly like have cover between you and an enemy, then the enemy has a tier of snag to hit you instead of messing with the AR numbers at all. Because messing with like, I just found that like anything that messes with the basic numbers that appear on enemy stat blocks or player character sheets just makes the game harder to track and more annoying to play. So I just think like tiers of snag and tiers of edge just make it all easier to do, because then it's like you know before you make an accuracy roll, you just quickly like add up in your mind, oh, how many edges and snags do I have, and then subtract them from each other and then roll your die. And I did mention in my one of my videos, I think it was like what is Mythic, video, I do mention that I worry that the accuracy roll specifically has too many like edges and snags being added to it and whatnot. Square grid blasphemy. True, dude. I gotta switch to hexagons. So much better. I did mention that I thought that adding like I think adding so many edges and snags to the accuracy roll can be like annoying, and I might want to change that system, but like it's really only the accuracy roll that something like that is going to happen like a lot. Like most other rolls aren't going to have like more than 1 or 2 tiers of edge and snag added to them at any one time, I think. So I don't know, it could be fine, I guess. I just think it might be annoying for players to be like, every time you roll accuracy, you gotta roll a d20, then I gotta roll like 2 d6s for my edge, and then I gotta roll another d6 for my snag. Or no, you don't roll it because you just cancel out. So maybe that would make it more tolerable because you don't have to roll. If you have 2 edge and 1 snag, they just cancel out. So you roll in the end just 1 snag or 1 edge. I'm confusing myself. But yeah, I don't know. Could be fine. But yeah, cover works like kind of how it does. Flanking works like how it does in D&D. I'm gonna get water real quick. I'm gonna take a quick break. Like a minute tops. Probably less. Okay, I'm back. Personally, like how Lancer does their accuracy and inaccuracy, where the final number is the highest of the pool. So no matter how that's accurate you are, end result will only be a max of +6 or -6. Oh, I guess I never really thought about doing it that way. That would reduce how much addition you have to do. Maybe I'll try that in the future. I kind of want to stick to how it is now because, like, in Mythic, we're already at the action section, so I'll show you. Attack, when there are degrees of success, and for every 5 you roll above an enemy's AR, you do an additional damage die of damage to them. So doing it the Lancer way would make things faster. A lot faster and probably easier. But it would kind of, well, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing because the players would do less damage. I don't know. I'll have to keep that in mind. But currently, there's degrees of success. So if enemy's AR is like 10 and a player rolls 20, you know, that's 2 increments of 5 above their AR. So they do 2 additional damage die, which, you know, that and then crits can result in like a shitload of damage. True, but could it just raise the dice size too? Oh, I guess it could. Like D8s or D10s. I'll have to keep that in mind. Here. Let me just like copy paste your comment into my feedback. Okay. Whoops. But yeah, so attack rolls work like how they do in D&D. You know, you roll a d20, you add your weapon STM to it, and then the specific weapon will call for like they'll call for you to add a base stat to it, so like strength or dex. And that's basically how they work. And you add situational stuff like it too, so like edge and snag. And when you crit, what I did before is that I doubled the dice, but with how the system used to work, that could potentially make like a shitload of dice to roll. So I changed it to add up the damage like you usually would, and then just double the final damage number. It just speeds up everything so much. But there are recoil penalties in this game. I think I talked about them in the video, but like every subsequent attack action, you have to make the accuracy roll with the tier of snag to like simulate recoil, or to simulate like your frantic swings if it's a melee weapon. It's just to like make sure lower level players like aren't too OP, since they can make 3 attacks at the start of the game. And it's basically just copied directly over from Pathfinder. Throw such pass. In this game, you have a specific throw range, which is based off of your strength. It's like either items 10 feet times your strength modifier. So you have like maxed out strength at 5, you can throw like 50 feet. And you do have an effective range and a double and max range for that. So if it's maxed out at 5, then your max range is 100. But you know, if you're shooting your gun or throwing something at your max range, it's with a tier of snag because it's so far away. Might want to switch to a game soon. I'm talking about this for a while. I don't want to give away everything just yet. But a lot of it does work like how it does in D&D. I don't know. Any last minute questions? Combining ability effects? Oh. I do wonder how people who are new to D&D system will favor with Mythic. Yeah, that's something I'm like really worried about because I've played with people in the past that can like not keep track of like basic stuff in the game, like how to make an attack roll or where their AR is on their character sheet. And so I'm trying really hard to make the game simple but still like kind of at the same complexity range as D&D 5e, because like that's where I prefer the game complexity to be. I like D&D 5e, but I mean, there's also like, I want the game to be approachable for multiple reasons. First of all, it will get a larger audience, which also means more paying customers possibly, if it's something that anyone could get into. But at the same time, like, you know, I don't want to make a game that is so diluted that it has like no depth to it. So walking that line has been difficult. I don't think it's that bad right now though. Do you ever figure out how you're going to do Titans? You said before you're struggling with the implementation. Yeah, I haven't really looked at Titans in a long time. That's still something I need to figure out. But through working on spaceships, I'm kind of figuring that out by extension, because Mythic is supposed to be like a combined arms type game. So theoretically, players could take their spaceships down into orbit and like just attack enemies. And basically that just means that I have to have vehicles like have a reasonable amount of health that they could be destroyed by players or enemy NPCs. And so their health can't be too crazy high, and they have to have a reasonable AR, which some people might take issue with because it's like, it's a spaceship, why can normal bullets hit it? But like, you know, I made a video called Realism is Stupid. It's a game mechanic. Like, why not just have a bullets harm a ship? Why not? My idea is that things like spaceships or vehicles or Titans are going to be called and treated as force multipliers, which basically means that if a player has a Titan or the players are manning a ship, then the amount of ground units the player should be fighting against should be increased by a certain amount, like either doubled or tripled, or maybe throw a vehicle at the players. I think that's going to require a lot of testing, unfortunately, which is like the main thing that slows down the development of the game. But so in theory, if players are on if players have like a Titan, then in the rules I'll be like, okay, if players have a Titan, throw like 2 more enemies at them, or like a vehicle or something. And I think that's how I'm going to do it. But yeah, I haven't really gotten there yet. Especially since they have to learn from the ground up, it might discourage new players who don't play TTRPGs. I'm sure we're going to rebrand and not call them Titans. You don't like Titans? What's wrong with Titans? Oh, I was going to go to their section. Here it is. Titans. This is so out of date right now. I just have not been focused on them at all. But yeah, they kind of work like ships. Well, I mean, like all vehicles kind of work the same. They have charge slots, and that kind of acts as their fuel, but it also can like power some of their abilities and weapons if they bring like heavy duty weapons with them. Yeah, and the weapon selection is pretty limited right now too. I mean, what would sound better than Titan? Like just power armor? It's not that I don't like them, it's just that I feel like we can rename them for copyright purposes, like how Mechs and Lancer are called Lancers. I mean, Titan's a pretty generic word. I don't think it'd be a copyright issue. I mean, yeah, they could use a cooler name, but something to think about for later, I guess. Just call them Gundams. That's copyright safe, right? But as for what game to switch to, I think we're only going to go for another like until like 9 for me, for like 45 minutes. What would be interesting to play for like 45 minutes? You guys want to see like more Baldur's Gate? I kind of want to play a FromSoft game, but like there's not a ton I can do in 45 minutes. Titans have been used for mechs for ages. I think it's fine. You don't see the Titans from Gundams going after... You don't see the Titans from Gundam going after Titans. Titanfall Titans. Yeah. Show us some games, my man. Okay. Ever play FTL? Yeah, that's what the that's what the space combat is based on. Hell yeah, yeah. RimWorld, honestly, I don't like RimWorld very much. You think I would, but I kind of don't. This is what we got, boys. I can just do fights in Arkham. Manor sucks. That game is so annoying. If you want to play a good city builder, play Nova Roma. It's in early access though, so might be a while before it comes out. Damn. Yeah, that game is just like... it's so much micromanagement. I don't like a lot of micromanagement. Trust will agree on something one day. Okay, I see how it is. Force Unleashed? How long would that take to download? 28 gigabytes, oh my god. How big are Titans? They're supposed to be like power armor from Fallout. Fallout 4. So they're supposed to be larger than a human, but not by a ton. But there's also 3 variants. So you have the Carovelos, Veloci maybe. which is like the smallest, was supposed to be like almost form-fitting in, you know, Iron Man like, and it's how big it is. You have the Sherman, which is kind of like the default, like not default, but like kind of Fallout 4, very much Fallout 4 inspired. And the Panzer is like a mini Titanfall or a mini Gundam type thing. Not like towering over people or anything, but definitely a lot bigger than a normal human. Like 12 feet or something. Do I give dimensions? No. Jesus, I expected it to be 10 gigs. Yeah, you'd think. It's such an old game. No, it's huge. Well, that's including the DLC, I guess. How long will it take? Oh my god, shut up. Yeah, streaming and downloading a game at the same time. Super smart of me. Yeah, that's moving pretty slow. I have a really slow download speed as well, so. So 6 feet, 8 feet, 12 feet. Yeah, probably something like that. Maybe a little bigger. For all of them. I have Dark Souls 3 installed, but not Dark Souls 1. What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? Oh my god. How big is Dark Souls? 3 gigabytes? Okay. That won't take too long. Okay, so I was thinking MOCOMs, mobile combat suits, but I wanted to know the size average first, because unfortunately 40k has made Titans on my brain gigantic. Yeah. Yeah, their gigantics are like big walking churches, right? They're ridiculous. I don't know, maybe I should change the name just so like people don't have the like preconception of having them like don't have the preconception of them being like massive. So maybe it would be a good thing to change it. What about exosuits? I would assume some kind of load-bearing suits would be a nice touch. Yeah, maybe. I feel like exosuit kind of implies like only a survival suit though. Okay, well this isn't downloading very fast either. I'm just gonna play Dark Souls 3, fuck it. Oh, I have Bloodborne and Demon Souls too, if you guys want to see that. And they're installed, so I don't have to wait at all. Well, maybe not, since robots might do a better job than any exosuit could. Maybe. Howard Walker's, the old folks, the old folks home, never stood a chance. I don't know, what does anime call them? Like MOCOMs? Is that normal for Gundam? I guess I could do like a what's it called? Not an abbreviation, but you know, a bunch of letters that stand for stuff. Like I don't know. Power armor is just so succinct. Like, what do you call it other than that? I've not seen too much of Demon Souls, but I always heard it was great. Acronyms, that's what it is. Thank you. Acronym. I can play Demon Souls. Let me turn that off real quick. Make the name like a title similar to MoCom for mobile combat suits. I could do. I could call it like powered exosuits, so that'd be Poxus. That sounds bad. Actually, not from Gundam, but it was inspired by it. I was just mulling it over for the last 30 minutes. Well, that's a pretty good name for just coming up with it. MoComs. I don't know, maybe I'll just steal your idea. Just steal your idea, not credit you. Power Exosuit Combat System, PEX. That's not bad, PEX. Let me get... The thing I emulated, I haven't updated in forever, so... Is that it? There it is, okay. Gotta update. Need to plug in my controller. What kind of build do you guys want me to play? Oh, how do I play full screen? Oh, I should pause that. RPCS3 full screen. Alt enter. Okay. There we go. Let me get that up for you guys. This? Best way to figure out names for military/combat units is call them out like soldiers seeing one across the battlefield. Oh shit, it's a PEC or MoCom. Yeah, that's true. And they always abbreviate. They always do an acronym. Torture Run Arcane build. Isn't Arcane good though? I played this game like twice top, so I I do not know this game as much as I know other games. Yes, but very hard to get started early game. Okay. I'm down. I'm up for a challenge. I'm a gamer. Might have thought this was a Bloodborne rip. Like how firearms are named by manufacturers. Oh, that's a good idea. I should look at some of those for reference and abbreviations. It's very late for me. Well, that's okay. You can hop off if you want. No issues. I don't think I'm gonna keep going for much longer, anyways. Like the ACR. Yeah, I should look at gun names for reference. Wow, this is taking a while. Dark Souls could have been installed by now. Oh my god. But have you guys ever seen like the evil ending credits for Demon Souls? Oh my god, it looks so cool. Just that like that thing of like it's like the models just in like a basic pose. Well, not a basic pose, but in a pose, and like lights like slowly drifts over them, and it looks like so atmospheric and cool. Like holy shit. On another note, you've seen the IRL Gundam equivalent Arcax? And then I think you confused YouTube chat. It's like giving me an auto translate. Oh, is it just a question symbol? I don't know why it's questioning that. Wait, so what's Arcax? Arcax, regulated crypto exchange in the UK. Nice. Oh, here we go. Now Demon Souls is going. Whoa, okay. Oh, I'm not getting audio. Are you guys getting audio? You guys are getting audio? Okay, well I'm not, so. LOL, it's a mechanized suit like a robot for construction purposes, but everyone is drawing the comparisons to Gunpola. Oh, okay. Dude, this cutscene's so cool. Oh my god, listen to these awesome sound effects. Whoa, look at that. Big crash. Wow, this is a feast for the ears, guys. Discord for reference. Oh wow, it's like a Titanfall. This is real? What the fuck? Well, it's just like when I talked about powered exoskeletons in my video. It's like, oh wait, they already exist. They're just kind of shitty right now, but they already exist technically. Whoa, you can just put it on your arm and it knows what your hand movement is? Oh, whoops. New game. Or Armored Core. Oh yeah. Oh, and they have actual they have actual Gundam. That's cool as fuck. Dude, I can't even keep I can't even keep up with technology now. I'm just feeling old, older and older these days. Well, good thing you guys can hear it, because I still can't. That's fine. I wonder, let me check something. Oh my god, is it using my... I think I know how to fix this. Do not use this device. Apply. There we go. Now it's working for me. Oh god, that's annoying. So it was, I plugged in my controller. Apparently it's been so long that it was using the audio driver in my controller to play audio, not my headset. Yep, made by the same guy that did the real scale Gundam in Japan. That's sick. So I mean sorcerer, magician. I am the mage. Oh, Arg. Okie dokie. Screaming in pain.
King Allant XII, by channeling the power of souls.
They had to shut down? That
Unprecedented.
sucks. I'm skipping this. I want to play.
Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be made.
Why'd they shut down? Is it just like they didn't have money?
Soul of the lost withdrawn
Not enough
from its
investors?
vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended.
I still have Blender up.
This
Oh,
is the
fuck.
Nexus.
That's gonna hurt my
It
performance.
holds together the northern land of Boletaria.
Oh fuck, it's still like in rendered mode. Oh shit.
Thou canst not exit the Nexus, but each of the 5 archstones
Turn that off. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot I rendered something right before I ate. I died. Oh no. Apparently maintenance cost for it was insane. Oh, that makes sense. Like, that would have to be probably a very complicated machine. I guess that makes some sense. Too bad though. I want to be able to land in a Titan on some crazy planet not right now, in like 30 years. We need to develop this technology immediately. I mean, it makes so much sense, yeah. Well, the remake doesn't look that good. What's going on? Do I have a wand, right? Okay. This is not running well. Pretty sure we can already do whatever the robot can with way less money. Trying to mass produce that thing is so bad for your wallet. But it would be cool. Think of the epic moments. Think of the Titanfall. We can say Titanfall inbound. It's always weird that you don't have footsteps in this game because you're in your phantom form all the time. Fuck. This heals me, right? Okay. Spice is for magic and grass is for healing. Okay. Been a long time since I played this game. Cool. God, I have no health. Let's see, am I pro gamer? Whoa, okay. That was a pro gamer move. Nope, I'm not. Yeah, parrying is fucking hard in this game. Come on. Push. Trust me, I work in the Navy now. I know just how much money a country can burn on maintenance alone. Yeah, I believe you. I saw I saw the thing on Reddit get reposted for the millionth time. That picture of like the gigantic ship chain. That like, oh, if you stand in a room with this thing, you would suffocate because it oxidizes so much air. Like, goddamn. Yeah, everything's so complex now. The military uses such like complex gear now. I can imagine. It's been years since I played the OG Demon Souls. Yeah, it's not my it's not my favorite FromSoft game to return to, but it's pretty solid. It plays a lot like Dark Souls 1, just like a little jankier. It actually plays like, it is jankier, but it is like a little more fluid than Dark Souls 1 in a weird way. But yeah, I don't have a PS5, so I'm permanently locked out from playing the remake, or the remaster, or whatever you call it. Come on. But it is crazy that they made like Demon Souls and then Miyazaki was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep remaking it. Oh fuck. God Gamer? God Gamer? No. Oh, someone behind me? Maybe I should use my magic. For once. Yeah. Okay, that does damage. Shadow Tower Abyss is a genuine classic that I cannot recommend enough. Is that a video game? Easy peasy. Oh, that's a tough guy. Maybe don't go that way yet. Come on, show me your back. Ooh, that sounds iconic though. Oh my god. Like a Dark Souls moan. You good? Oh. I don't like this guy. This guy's gonna kill me. How's that not backstab? This guy is taking no damage. I'm gonna leave. Bye. Is another FromSoft game similar to Kingsfield in the same way Bloodborne is similar to Dark Souls? Oh, okay. I bet Magic can beat him, but he's got a shield. He's like blocking everything. Oh, come on. Oh, come... What? Fuck off, dude. What is that hitbox? Okay, so I went to one side of him, pressed the cast button, it didn't do anything, and then he like hit me with a hippo hitbox. Welcome to Demon Souls. Oh my god. I was wrong. Yeah. Of all the games, Demon Souls takes the crown for the jankiest. These stairs? Oh. Didn't know that existed. Got him. Spells don't track in this game like in Dark World? That sucks. Oh yeah, and this game has a stupid like carry capacity mechanic. Oh my god. If I pick up too much like misc items, I will be over encumbered. Skyrim-esque. Demon Souls is the first Skyrim-like game. God, and the backstab hitbox is so small, it's so janky. It's like hard to get. Okay. Worked that time. I just need to use my magic and steamroll. Nice. this game, man. The backstab doesn't make sense. Jank, I know. Like playing Fallout in Vegas, like the nav mesh is being terrible. Okay, hopefully the blue guy is a little easier. Let me take some spice. Okay, that does not recover much. Oh, let me get that off my bar. Oh, that's good damage. Okay, easy. Guys, I thought Magician was hard. Is it that guy? You gotta save that guy. There's gonna be a guy around the corner, isn't there? Oh no, huh? Tried to armor farm, punished.
Good day to you. Care to look over my wares? Mostly stolen, but who's telling eh?
What a voice. I wanna save for leveling up. I wanna save it.
Be a brave knight or depraved slave, the demons will snatch your soul, and you'll go mad. And those who dare cling to their humanity are hunted down. It is the end of Great Boletaria as we know it. But hell, at least the demons don't send us to our deaths in battle. There's this skinny fella, clad in fabulous armor, who's always mumbling about some mission. He's another one who's managed to stay sane like yourself. Probably some pampered son by the looks of his attire. I'd give an arm just for the buttons off his shirt. It is the end of Great Boletaria as we know it. But hell, at least the demons don't send us to our deaths in battle.
How do I get down? Isn't it like a... You have to use like Demon Souls like Jink, like vaulting mechanic, right? Is it somewhere else? Nope, okay. But not like clearly marked at all. East ring. Sure.
That was a bold jump. A surprise indeed. Well, now that you are here, pray thee, fend off these dreglings. That was a bold jump. Well. What on earth are you doing?
Well, didn't want to do that, but... Whoa, we did it. Whoa. Congrats.
My thanks for your brave rescue. I am Ostrava of
I
Boletaria.
pushed you off the ledge.
Accept this as a token of my gratitude.
A brass telescope, thanks. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Spooky scary. Is he gonna die? Oh, there's a...
What on earth are you doing? Please!
Okay, time to... I need big guns. Please don't die. Okay. He's trying to get himself killed. I don't know what he's doing. Like, there's a ton of enemies down there. Don't go down there. He said he's so low. Defend yourself. Come on. I can't help him because I swing. I hurt him. Oh, fuck. Okay, there you go. Okay. You're a liability, bro.
Now, I must go. There is something for me to take care of. No matter how far I venture, only the soul-starved remain. Is there a single sane person left in Boletaria?
It's a really good question, man.
No matter how far I venture, is there...
Okay. It's over. Okay. GTG Orb is good to stream. Yeah, have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by and watching. So you guys can tell me, is this boring right now? Because I'm kind of just... I did a lot of talking at the start of the stream, so I'm a little... not talking as much as I usually would, but like even with other streams, I don't talk a ton while I'm playing. So I was like, is this kind of boring right now for you guys, or is this interesting? I kind of want to gauge. Because I often find myself like having a hard time playing and talking at the same time. Or like, you know, tonight where I talked a lot at the start of the stream, so I'm kind of, you know, wearing down a little bit at the end. There we go. The chill stream after loads of technical talk, I think it's fine. Okay, good. Come on. You have the same idea as me. That's the fire bridge. Where does this go? Okay, well that's worse. Agreed, a lot was covered early in, so some chill time was warranted. Okay. That's good to know, because like sometimes it like sounds fun to stream, but like I just worry that I don't talk enough while I play or something. What? Come on. Where's the dragon? Come on, bring out the dragon. There he is. Loudest part of the game. That opens front gate. I think that leads me to the first boss. Absolute aura, bro. I'm terrified of these guys. Oh, hi. it seems like you can only backstab people when they're at like the end of their attack animation. It's a really weird quirk. No. Don't take out the brass telescope. You have to like finish their animation first. That's so weird. Do I have any spice? I have 2. Don't. Oh god. I need to pay some fucking attention. Holy shit. So now I'm at the back, and I'm gonna go level up. And probably buy some spice. Oh, but does the Black Maiden even show up this early in the game? Doesn't it like take a while for her to show up? Well, there's that guy.
At its peak, Boletaria was a grand kingdom. The king, his knights, and his subjects were modest and plain, but also steadfast and compassionate. In the distant southern kingdom, Boletaria was known as paradise on earth. But look at what has become of us now. I refuse to believe that this is what Father wished for our great land.
Okay. Yeah, he's the son of King Allant. Yeah, I don't think she shows up yet, so, where do I buy spice then? Do you sell it?
Well, you slipped through the fissure too,
There's an actual
did you?
cutscene for this?
You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? Hunting for demons? Try one of the Archstones.
Bro, I just got back.
Go. That is why you came, is it not? To this accursed Boletaria.
Okay. Obnoxious crestfallen.
You came for demon
Bro.
souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? It's all the same. You're just another prisoner of the Nexus. We're welcome here, as long as we keep slashing up demons.
You're a weird guy, you know that?
You came for demon souls?
Okay, well... Need magic. Anyone have magic? You have magic?
Oh my. How has this happened? Has God abandoned us for failing to show proper respect to King Alant? Oh, Mbasa.
Yo, is that a Bloodborne reference?
Oh, Mbasa.
Wow.
Oh, Mbasa.
Okay, well... No, that's all she says. Yo, you guys got any drugs in here? I need some spice. Why do you have a dust trail? What? Why is that a feature? Okay, so... No spice for this guy, I guess. And go talk to that weird guy, but he's kind of like far away from where I am now. Nah, fuck it. I'll just do it. We're doing it live. One of the two dudes should have some, I think. I should have talked to more people. They might sell stuff. Look at that damage. Holy. I can't hit it though. Do I have fire bombs? I think I do. That makes this boss super easy. Fireballs, there we go. Okay, can't even lock onto it though. They're like glitching out into the ceiling. Did it heal? What? Oh, firebombs, okay. Come on, lock on, please. Are these guys infinite? Okay, well, turpentine time. Oh, I need my sword out. Fuck. Okay. Amygdala. This boss reminds me of the what's the Dark Souls 3 ones? With the evil priests. Charge up a curse later in the fight that like instantly kills you. Oh my god, they're like glitching out all over the place. Got it, okay. First try, easy peasy. Wait, what should I upgrade first? Should I upgrade the stuff that gives you more magic or the stuff that gives you more health? Because magic will make me more of a do more damage, while low health is more of a challenge. I forgot about deacons. Yeah, I guess that's a boss fight. That's pretty similar. Like that feet shot. Do I have to talk to him? Can I not? God, he's all the way up there, dude.
The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
He just leveled me up.
The monumental of the
I always hated it's in this game, Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. You have to like go to a person to level you up. And I've always hated that. I always like Dark Souls 1's way of doing it, where you just do it at the bonfire. Just so much more convenient and not less annoying. I think it's all the way up. Oh my god. This right? I don't think that's right. Did I go too far? Okay, here we go.
We have other.
Super interesting, dude. Okay, bye. Sure.
Yes.
Good talk. Resisting the urge to just jump off and kill myself. It's just, I'm in human form and I have a bunch of souls. I shouldn't do it.
Brave Prithee.
Nice.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul power?
Yes.
So be it. After all, thou requirest strength. Go forth. Let these ownerless souls become thine own. Soul of the
Okay,
mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost,
Should I just do
withdrawn
magic?
from its
Just go
vessel.
full glass cannon?
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
What do you guys think?
So the world might be mended.
Smart choice of vitality, but we can just go glass cannon. Oh, but intelligence increases how much MP I have. Forgot about that. Oh, I forgot. In this game, you can't, like, see how many times you can level up. You have to, like, commit. It's annoying. I'm just gonna do 5 in magic and do whatever else in intelligence. Hopefully that's enough to get me... Okay, I only had enough for 6 levels.
Art thou done? May thine strength help the world be mended.
Okay, I think I'm gonna end stream there. Thanks everybody for sticking around and watching. But have a good night. And have a good weekend. Of course. I drop frames right when I do that. Have a good one. You too, Onion. Have a good one.